I'm Jane Kinsella. I'm from San Francisco, California, and I'm 17 years old.
I'm Molly Zoffer. I'm from North Carolina. Thanks, Carleon, and I'm also 18.
Hi everyone, I'm Diana. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm 17 years old.
And I'm Carleon Outlaw. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm 17 as well.
I'm Mahara Kaur. I'm from Maryland, Coast Washington, D.C. and I'm 18.
I'm Paola Del Mora. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm 17.
I'm Sally Wallner. I'm 18. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm Michael. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm 16 years old.
I'm Katie. I'm from a really small town in Washington State. No, I do not know the president because that's the wrong Washington. And I'm 18 years old.
My name is James Benner. I'm 16 years old, and I'm 17 years old. And I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Genevieve. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Houston, Texas.
I'm Cena. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Colorado.
Okay, so good afternoon, or Misal Head. We are a group of 14 American high school students here to study Arabic. For the past month, we've been in Rabat learning Arabic, modern standard Arabic, as well as Darija with our host families. And we're from places as different as New York City all the way to Colville, Washington State. All of us are here as part of a program called the National Security Language Initiative, which is a program through the U.S. State Department that wants to engage high school students in exchange programs across the world and learn languages that aren't commonly taught in high school. So they provide scholarships to study Chinese, Hindi, Turkish, Persian, Arabic, Russian, and Korean. And the State Department works with various organizations such as IRON to enable us to go learn and study abroad for the summers and academic year.
Also, I forgot to mention Simone Lipkin. She's not here, but she's in her room.
She's feeling under the
She's
weather.
dying of a migraine right now. But while we're all American citizens, we all come from different backgrounds. Like my mom, she's African American and Puerto Rican, and my dad is from Kingston, Jamaica. Also Simone, who's sick. She's the daughter of two immigrants, a Venezuelan and Italian mother and an Egyptian father. And then James, his ancestors are came to America on the Mayflower, which is a boat.
The first boat to come to America.
Yeah,
there you go.
And so NSLI-Y is an important program because it gives American high schoolers, regardless of their race, gender, socioeconomic backgrounds, and religion, the ability to study languages and pursue cultural immersion in foreign countries. And we're so thankful that NSLI has accepted us, and our time in Morocco is truly life-changing thus far. And we wanted to take a few minutes to share some personal stories and language inquiries that we have faced.
Just generally, could you guys speak a little more slowly? There are a lot of English language learners in your audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
No, just
yeah, so we're just gonna share a few experiences that we had so far in Toronto.
Hey guys, so before we get into all that, a question for a couple of you. Why do you study foreign languages? Just raise your hand, one or two people share. Anyone? Yeah.
From music, actually.
Music, nice.
Yeah. Where?
Good. Films? Films. Okay, thank you guys. So the reason that we want to study Arabic is it's different for everyone, but for all of us, it helps us pursue our interests and improve the world in general. So we have people, for example, who want to work in the US government in the future, people who want to research how Sharia law is still present in different countries today, people who want to explore Middle Eastern architecture, and so many more. So for me personally, the reason why I wanted to study Arabic is for my involvement in the organization of Kids for Peace. Kids for Peace is a Jerusalem-based nonprofit that creates communities dedicated to ending conflict. So with Kids for Peace, I facilitate interfaith dialogue, which is like a really fancy way of saying that I like help people talk. And these people are pre-teenagers, maybe 12 years old, 13, who are American, Israeli, Palestinian, Muslim, Jewish, and Christian. And since I'm already proficient in English and Hebrew, being able to speak Arabic will let me talk to every single participant in their own language, connect with them, help share the message of interfaith peace, and help them create interfaith cross-cultural connections with each other. Okay, so now I'm going to hand it off to Diana to talk about learning inside the classroom.
Okay, so I want you all to raise your hand if you've ever been in a language classroom with more than 5 people. Okay, how about more than 10 people? 20 people? 30? Okay.
40.
40. Okay. Well, my name is Diana. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and for the past 11 years, my whole schooling, really, my education, has been with Chicago Public Schools. And often, I'm always put into a classroom with 30 other students, or about 30 other students. And although most of the time it's kind of fun to have more friends in the room, I'm really able to get one-on-one attention from my teacher. However, this summer while studying Arabic with NSLI-Y, I've definitely discovered the joys and many benefits of a smaller class size of 7. I remember one day very vividly when my Arabic teacher Yusuf walked in the room in a full traditional Moroccan attire. He was wearing a red small hat called a fez, along with a white full-length jalaba, and of course Moroccan leather shoes. And with our intimate class, we were able to have the opportunity to ask him about his attire and the different parts to it. In addition to being able to ask cultural questions, we were able to have more speaking time while learning new vocab. Like, for example, when we were learning the different parts of the, different rooms in the house, we were all able to say "rufet Jews" like 5 times in order to actually learn how to pronounce it correctly. And as many of you all know, speaking and pronunciation is important to language learning, but especially with Arabic, since there are definitely sounds that don't exist in English. For example, the difference between kulbi and kelbi. Well, kulbi means your heart. My Arabic teacher knows. Kulbi means your heart. Kelbi means a dog. So be careful which one you use. In the future, I'll be sure to seek out smaller class settings and intimate learning opportunities, and I encourage you to do the same. Shukran.
So we all go to school together in Rabat at Arabic Learning Center, and we're really fortunate to be there. The teachers are all amazing. One difference that I thought was really different from my experience learning language in America is that they teach us Arabic in Arabic, which is really difficult because Arabic doesn't sound anything like English, and I have no idea what they're saying. So in school we have language partners who are young Moroccans pursuing careers in education, like graduate college students, and they come to school and they spend an hour speaking only Arabic with us. Like, they know English, they're very smart, they know a lot of languages, but they only speak Arabic. So my first experience with a language partner, I was sitting down with her and she was asking me questions, and she asked me, "What's your favorite color?" But I didn't understand it, so she kept repeating, "What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color?" And I started crying because I couldn't understand what she was asking me. And I didn't know the word for color, favorite, anything. But once I finally understood, after like 5 minutes of crying and her repeating the same question, I screamed that my favorite color was azraq, or blue. So from that experience, I will never forget the words for favorite, color, or for blue. And I feel that learning languages help me retain, learning languages in Arabic, learning Arabic in Arabic, help me remember a lot more vocabulary and be a lot more confident in my speaking ability. So with these language partners, we do a lot of activities like cooking traditional Moroccan food, tagines, and we play sports, we visit places around Rabat, and while we're with our partners, we sing songs, play games, learn vocabulary. They learn English and we learn Arabic. And I feel like it's a great way for us to learn and to be immersed in the culture at the same time. So if you guys are ever in a situation where you don't understand what the person is saying, try not to get frustrated and cry, and try to learn from it and use what little you know to figure out how to communicate. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the fear of speaking a new language.
Our group organization, NSLI-Y, actually posted this on Facebook a couple weeks ago, so that's where I get my content. Xenoglossophobia, in definition, it's also called foreign language anxiety, is basically, it's one of the most common phobias in the world, and it's basically a force that doesn't allow you to speak a foreign language because you're afraid to make mistakes, and you're afraid to be judged by someone who's a native speaker of that language. So that's been something that I've experienced a lot so far in Rabat, because it's my first time ever trying Arabic out, and there's people who are so much smarter than me and know a lot more Arabic. But in the classroom has been one of the places that I've been really able to find support and strength from my teacher and all the other students to be able to make mistakes and learn from them without being discouraged. One time, our teacher, he likes to say, produce yourself. That's one of his ways of saying, basically, tell me everything about yourself that you can in Arabic from everything that you know, without using your resources or your notes, and you use only what you know in your mind, and it's okay if you make mistakes, you just say what you can. So we've all made a lot of mistakes doing that, and one time, one of my friends, the one who has a migraine, she was telling the teacher about all of the names of her different friends, but she was saying Habibi. And our teacher pointed out to her that Habibi meant boyfriend, not friend. So she realized that the night before, she had been telling her host family that she had 14 boyfriends on this trip. So, as hilarious as it was, it's also just a great way to really have a memorable moment, because from now on, every time that word comes up, we always look at her and laugh because she made that mistake, but she definitely learned from it. But just in general, I think that being able to, having the desire to learn a different language and being open to making mistakes and letting yourself be vulnerable shows respect for the native speaker, and it's kind of an invitation to cross-cultural understanding. So it's showing that you're willing and you're able to put yourself out there and be willing to make mistakes, maybe be laughed at, but you're just trying to find a connection between yourself and the other person. And two things that I've noticed that I feel most people agree on are two basic concepts of being a human, are making mistakes and wanting to make connections with other people. So because of that, I think that everyone is able to find a connection, and using communication, which is one of the most basic aspects of making connections with other people, it's extremely important to be able to put yourself out there and be able to communicate with other people, even when you're too afraid to make those mistakes. Because if you were too afraid to make those mistakes and you didn't reach out, you might be missing out on an entirely different experience with someone you might never have met otherwise. So it's just really important to let yourself make those mistakes and learn from them so that you can make connections with other people.
Sorry, I have notes. Okay. So my story starts with me eating dinner with my host family one night, probably at around 12 o'clock because we eat really late. And we're finishing up, and my host brother Hatim asks me if I want to go to the soup with him. Just 15 minutes, he says. Yeah, sure, I'll go to the soup for 15 minutes. That's not long. It'll be great to learn some vocab maybe, learn about the culture, and learn about the life of young Moroccans. So I go into the soup with him. We walk all the way across the Rabat Medina. So the Medina is the old part of the city with tiny maze-like roads. I'm sure all of you know this. So we walk all the way across the Medina in Rabat, and he takes me to a vendor, and he gives me 200 dirham, and in really fast Moroccan Arabic, he says, buy 20 tagines. 20. He gives me a tiny shopping cart, and I have to bargain with this tagine vendor on the side of the road for 20 tagines. I don't know that much Arabic. So I say, I need 20 tagines. Afreed tagines. Afak. Please, 20 tagines, please. I don't know. So I get these 20 tagines and I load them onto this tiny shopping cart. It's maybe this big, 20 tagines, and they're not small tagines. They're full-size tagine. And I have to walk through from this part of the Medina, okay, like near the new part of the city, to this like side of the ocean, okay? And this is a long walk. It's not short. This maybe takes 20 minutes with my host brother and a few of his friends. And I'm hauling 20 tagines while they're hauling everything else that they bought for their store. Across the Medina, while people look at me and think, why is there an American boy carrying 20 tagines on the cart? Why is he like stumbling around? Maybe it's because I just ate and it's like 1:30 at night. So I have these 20 tagines. I'm walking through the Medina, and people stop and ask me questions. They offer to help. They laugh at me, which is just I love laughing at myself. So I was and they're like asking me, why is there an American with 20 tagines? Because you don't see that every day. But then we got back to the store, and the next day I talked to a tourist who wanted to buy one of the tagines and told them that I hauled them myself, and I put a lot of work into that, so they should probably buy one. And I was actively part of the Moroccan culture, and this beautiful Medina, this beautiful city, felt like mine. And now whenever I walk through the streets of the Medina and Rabat, people look at me, people laugh, they point, they talk to me and say that, and call me the tagine boy. Or Monsieur Africa, Mr. America, and then say something about the tagines. All of the shop owners stop to say hi to me, maybe I'll buy a leaf from them. And I use a lot of different vocabulary for all of the people who I'm talking to. I'm using different vocabulary for the vendor. I'm using different vocabulary for the Hanout owner, which is a small shop in the Medina. Using different vocabulary for the people who want to stop and ask why this American boy is hauling 20. Why this American boy hauls 20 tagines through the Medina at 1:30 at night. So it's really a great way to learn language. The immersion teaches you so much you couldn't learn in the classroom. There's no textbook that says you're hauling 20 tagines in the middle of the night in the Rabat Medina. Use your vocabulary to explain this. Like, that's something that would never happen. So I'm really glad that I had this opportunity to talk to all these new different people and all the different roles that they play in their daily life. And I got so much more cultural understanding and language understanding because of
that. Michael, sorry, KG. Michael, repeat after me. I know where. Where?
Where?
Good job. I'm just not going to say any Arabic.
Okay, show of hands. Who among you are Moroccan? Or from Morocco?
Wow, there are a lot. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work out.
Okay, so you guys are not Moroccan. It looks like, well, maybe like these people.
But it looks like it's about you guys are the only ones.
Okay, for those of you who are not Moroccan, was there anything that people told you to be cautious of coming to Morocco? Like any stereotypes, show of hands, any reactions? Yes. It's a good rule to live by anywhere you go. For Moroccans too, is there? Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's also good.
Cat calling.
Cat calling. Yes.
Yeah.
Brittany? Yes. Oh, did you have some? That goes with fun. As Yuki said, catcalling, I think for us girls in the program was a major theme we were focusing on in our pre-departure orientation before we came here. How to be safe, how to not respond, and how to always be aware of your surroundings wherever you're going. Catcalling in Morocco is definitely a lot more prevalent than in America. One evening I took a walk and I did an experiment and I wrote down how many catcalls I would receive and I got 61 in one evening.
Oh my God.
And it was not just like this. I had full length sleeves. I had a full length skirt. So I would say I was pretty modestly dressed, but I still got 61 catcalls. So I think there's definitely the stereotype about Morocco of catcalling, but there's so much more to Morocco than just the catcalls. The people here are so self-sacrificial. They are the epitome of selflessness, so the definition of selflessness. And they inspire me with how I want to lead my own life. To live to serve other people and not to serve yourself. I have notes in here and I have a terrible memory, so I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so actually, Hatim, Michael's host brother, Frida and I, my resident director, were going shopping one day in Rabat's Medina, and we each bought this beautiful handcrafted mirror, the kind with the little doors and the hand-painted flowers. It's pretty. But we bought one, and then I had to use the restroom afterwards, so I asked the Hatim if there's a bathroom I could use. And he led me upstairs, and there's this balcony that overlooked the entire Medina with the river in Rabat, and there's this carnival. It was just starting to get dark outside, so the carnival is just illuminating everything red, green, gold. It was so stunning. And Hatim gave us tea, and we were talking, and we were just watching as the night grew darker and the lights grew brighter. It was just so beautiful. And coming here, we had focused so much on how to deal with sexual harassment, and also how to control your wallet and phone. But if I had let my apprehensiveness, my fear of that stereotype of how Moroccan men would treat me, if I had let that fear control me, then I would not have experienced that memory or have met half of the people that I now know, the shopkeepers, the taxi drivers, with other locals. Morocco just has so much to offer. There's just so many wonderful people here, and I'm really blessed to be here. So I guess my takeaway point here is wherever you go, always be safe, always be aware, always be savvy, but don't let fear control you, and because you're just closing doors that would have stood wide open for you. And in all likelihood, the country you're going to has a lot more to offer than the one detail you heard of. Thank you.
So I had some trouble memorizing mine, so I'll try my best, but I have my notes here. So one of the things I was most excited for my trip to Morocco was to learn more about the Islamic faith. Boston, Massachusetts, there's not a lot of opportunities for me to learn about this wonderful religion. And so on this trip, I knew that I would definitely have an in-depth experience, but little did I know that only 3 days into the trip, I would have one of the most meaningful moments of my trip thus far. So as I was sitting at the dinner table, I learned that my host family was fasting for 6 more days past the end of Ramadan. And so once the call to prayer came on the TV, my host family broke their fast with a glass of water and a date. After about 10 minutes, I saw them put on all of their traditional clothing, roll out their prayer mats, and then roll out their prayer mats. My host dad mentioned that they were about to start praying, and I asked him if I should leave into a different room, because I didn't know if they were comfortable with me being there. He said they were all comfortable with me being there. So I decided to stay and just kind of see what it was like, because I've never seen anybody pray like that before. So they rolled out their prayer mats and then began to pray as a family. I found the whole routine beautiful and fascinating at the same time. My host dad led the whole thing, and it took maybe around 5 minutes. As I sat at the kitchen table watching them go through their actions, I tried to take everything in, but I couldn't help thinking to myself, how do people think Islam is a violent religion? In the United States, I know that Islam is greatly misunderstood. I used to be somebody that knew nothing about Islam, nothing about their beliefs, their practices, anything like that. Luckily, in 7th grade, we had a world religion course, and so that gave me a well-rounded understanding of what Islam believes in and what their practices are. However, learning in a classroom is one thing. Our whole thing is learning about outside the classroom, and this experience definitely brought the classroom experience to a much personal level. The opportunities that iron and Nestle give to promote cross-cultural understanding is something that is truly needed in today's world, where it is so easy to view one group of people in a negative light. I've been able to create amazing relationships with people that I was once told to fear, that I had nothing in common with. I know that once I return home, I will make sure to educate others about my experiences, living in an Islamic society, and hopefully change their views on Islam. And while we're all here in a conference, I would like to encourage everyone to learn something about maybe a culture or a religion or a country that you don't really know a lot about. Because for me, it's definitely opened a lot more doors and has showed me the real beauty of something that I was once told to be afraid of.
So for me, my most profound learning experience outside the classroom was actually in the domestic realm of the host family home. This is truly where my cultural education flourished. It was in those communal and joyous host moments with my family. I remember one particular evening where myself, my host brother, and my couple host brothers actually, and my host father were seated around the dining room table, and we were playing a card game called Rummy. And each family member had that competitive nature to them. They were ready to win, they were joking, and someone wanted to be the clear victor of the game. And while they were jesting competitively, everyone was laughing and joking in the process. And my father was sure to compliment the younger host brothers, even if he was the winner often in... I was talking slow, okay. Even if he was the winner often in each round of the game. And I think that each moment that this was occurring, this was really showing me a glimpse into how important, how significant the family unit is, and how fundamental it is to Moroccan culture as a whole. Each moment where the host family was playing this game, even if the host brother didn't win, my host father was encouraging them to keep going on. And there was actually a moment where a host brother was successful and they beat the host father. And this is where my host father looked at him, he beamed proudly, and he called him winner in English, and he looked at me and he was smiling very proudly. And I think that this was something that's so interesting to me because although in these travel abroad experiences, we observe stuff outside the classroom, we look at the culture to notice the differences, the subtle nuances that exist in Morocco or other places versus other parts of the world, including the Western world. But I think in the end, we notice that the majority of things are fundamentally similar. And I think the realization that we are fundamentally similar is my major takeaway in my study abroad experience. All humans across the world, no matter where we live, we cherish the ideas of freedom, of living life to the fullest, of caring for one's family, and avoiding deprivation of our most basic human rights. And this epiphany is the ultimate definition of diplomacy. I think that if we can connect to this understanding and find out that we're all fundamentally similar, no matter where we are, from Morocco, from other countries, from the USA, we can really talk to each other and communicate, and this will ultimately lead to a decrease in all the global conflicts. It's the idea of this dialogue, diplomacy and peaceful coexistence being facilitated through this dialogue. It's the bridging of...
It's okay, you got it, you got it.
It's this dialogue that's given birth to the recognition of our similarities that I think would ultimately bring us to a more interconnected and peaceful world in the end, if we were able to realize the fact that we're all fundamentally similar.
اسمع انا عمرني ما قلت لها.
What is your name, please?
My name is Tiffany.
What do I call you in Arabic?
Tufanda.
Tiffany.
Hey guys, I don't have anything as interesting or deep for you. I'm just closing things up. And I just want to say that we are very lucky and extremely honored to be able to live in Rabat for a month and a half and be so immersed in the Arabic language. And while we know that not as many people have an opportunity to do that, you can still get those same experiences of having someone talk to you, not even understanding a word, and eventually getting to that point where you can't understand something, or taking risks and being able to learn that language. And it all just takes getting out there and pushing past that fear. And through great technology like Iron, you can use technology and other things like that in order to be able to slow down too. In order to be able to connect with people that have different cultures than you, different backgrounds and ethnicities. So let's see. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please come and ask us. You can ask us right now. And we'd love to talk to you in Fusa. And please come and talk to us.
We would love to talk to you in Fusa.
We're probably not as good Fusa speakers as you are English speakers, but we would still love to have that conversation with you. So thank you guys.